Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Muscatine Today Show. I am so glad that you guys are joining us today. We're going to have some fun. We are going to be painting. We are going to be working out. We are going to be doing all of the things. So we're going to be going from DIYing to sweating. It's going to be, I don't know, a packed show. So hopefully you guys are ready for all that. I want to start off by saying thank you to all of our sponsors of the show. So I'll start off by saying thank you to R7 Reclaimed, who's with us here today, Impact Athletic Performance, who's also with us here today for Wellness Wednesday, Toyota Muscatine, CVI, Impact Life Blood Center. They need your blood. Go and donate if you are able and willing. Go and donate some blood. Also, Suntan City, love them. They have tons of great deals. Go and get your tan on, whether it is sunless tanning or go and take some time in one of their tanning beds and it feels so good sometimes to just warm up in there. And also, of course, Hy-Vee, we love them, and Real Estate Resource Associates, our newest sponsor of the show. We are so grateful for all of our great sponsors and so happy to have all of them. We are going to just get right into it. So I have Tenneil standing right here with me. I am already gloved up. We are going to dig in.
Yes, you're rolling up your sleeves today. All right,
rolling them up.
All right, so we have with us these old architecture pieces. So these are pieces
so pretty.
Like would be above a door frame in an older house, and they typically get ripped out and tossed to the side, right? And so this is a way to kind of preserve that architecture from your grandma's house, or maybe you get lucky and see one at a garage sale. And there's a couple of options. I have one that has lots of architecture. This is called dental work, and then it's got the trim. Or if you want really sleek, even just a simple one like we have here. Now sometimes it comes with the hardware, you know, still attached. That's simple enough to take off. There's one down there if you want to grab it. So we're going to do two different looks. So I'm going to do a white one.
Okay.
And you're going to do a charcoal one. Because we are seeing a major rage for charcoal black and really smooth, sleek. So you're going to work on the smooth and sleek.
Okay.
And I'm going to work on the white one.
I feel pretty smooth and sleek today.
Yeah, right, with all the work you have to do. All right. So we are going to use Rust-Oleum chalk paint. I think they're all covered by my mess there. But, you know, there's a lot of different paints available, mineral paints and milk paints. And I still find that chalk paint is the best base. So we're almost using it like a primer.
Okay.
So just some strokes back and forth. This first round can be almost as messy as we want. Even if you have brush lines is okay. We think that the key to brush lines is often how we put it on, but really the key to brush lines is to sand it in between.
Okay.
And so we're not talking get out the sander and take your paint back off.
Right.
We're just talking about a light hand sand. That's going to get those out. Okay. So over here is where the magic happens.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so I'm not going to try to get into each crevice with those.
No.
Because that's what highlights the architecture. So even if I'm going to, let's say I want this to be the same as my wall paint, I'm still going to start with a chalk paint base, and then I'm going to level up to a house paint. Okay. So the key is to level up slowly. So I can't go from chalk paint to a high gloss paint. Okay. I would have to go to something more matte, like a flat paint or a satin paint. Okay. And if I'm not sure how to accomplish that, then I can just mix, right? I could take part chalk paint and part the wall paint for the next coat, and then on the final coat, have that full-on, you know, latex paint. Yours is looking nice. Really
I love this color.
Yes, so ideas on how to use these. So we can put coat hooks on these. You can also just use them on the wall like a shelf. Because they have a really nice 2-inch edge on them. So a perfect place to lean photos or a framed artwork of your favorite saying. And so these are quite popular for that.
So sometimes I struggle with, I never know, like when I'm painting, which I started with like the I guess the face of it, but I never know, do I like start with the sides? Do you always start with the face and then go to the sides?
So
is there like a secret to how to be less messy or not?
I'm not
if you care about
a great person to ask because I'm a little messy.
Okay.
But it does help
or like
to reserve one end to hold on to.
Right.
And paint all the others and then do that one last.
Yeah.
The other thing that I pay more attention to is how I'm distributing my paint. So if you'll notice, I would paint down here on the solid surface and get the majority of my paint out, then come up to do some detail trim.
Gotcha.
And so it's kind of about that paint distribution also. So,
and I don't know if you guys saw this, but like even the pieces don't have to be perfect. Like this one even has like a little nick out of it, you know, but like that's kind of what gives it, it's like
the character.
The character that you want. Like,
right. And
that's
so
what makes it old and cute. And
no matter your style, like even if you're not into antiques or shabby chic's not your deal, because we're seeing a lot of clean lines come into home decor, it's still important to keep age and history in our home so that they don't look disposable, right? Like that's what kind of brings in like a rich authenticity. And so, obviously, these would need, you know, some time to dry and another coat of paint. And you have a workout to do here eventually, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
Scott's gonna make me work.
I know. They tried to talk me into doing it with you, but I'm gonna cheer you on from the sidelines. I may even get groceries here at Hy-Vee today, which my family will thank me for. That's a nice perk of this, isn't it?
Yes,
you have no excuses for not having supper ready.
I get a lot of texts like, hey, will you pick up this before you come home?
Sure.
Hey, will you do this before you come home?
Right.
Like, shucks. Yeah.
So,
I suppose I will.
After this was to dry, we're going to hit it with another coat. Well, I have a lot of practice. In fact, I did 6 of these last week, and customers can catch them online.
That one's
up
so
for grabs
pretty.
and ready to go. Yes, this with the dental work and this more round trim is kind of a rare find.
Yep.
And then I also found some kind of like this. They don't have the dental work, but they have this in a barn just last week in Louisa County. One of my students was like, hey, I'm doing some work from a farmer and there's a pile of stuff here. You want to come check it out? And I was like,
you're like, yes.
Yeah, I do. And so it's really cool too because it's already got all the chippy paint on it. So I'm going to probably just leave those as they are.
Yep.
But this one actually, I don't know, I might use this one at home. In my girls' room when you're done with it. Because can you envision this one with some gold hooks on it with the black? I think that would be very pretty.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
So when we talk about
anybody
sanding,
can do this.
Yes, I'm gonna grab what this is gonna look like and kind of show us how to sand.
Okay.
So this is what this would look like after we added
I love it.
the hooks.
Bags, backpack.
Yes, by the door, your kids' room, bathroom for your towels, swimsuits on the deck. I mean,
swimsuits. I need that. Swimsuits.
Yes, you know, just kind of a place for everything and everything in its place is how I have survived the chaos we call R7.
Yes.
So when it comes to sanding, you don't have to overthink it. You can just do it by hand. Right now, I'm using 220.
Okay.
That is the softest one you can do. So you can watch. I'll be able to take any lines out of that without taking the paint off, but it just smooths it out. And then you can decide if you want to accent your edges. Like even with this black one, I would still sand all along the top, just leaving just enough wood that it looks like worn and true.
Yep.
Sometimes we think the key to things looking old when we paint them is to not put enough paint on, but that's not true. Get a good coat on
and then
distress your edges. Yeah. So that's what we're working on.
So when doing this, did you use like a hand tool or did you use like
Just either a power screwdriver or a power tool. We'll put those in.
And then where do you find like these? Also like...
So we have this particular style available.
Okay.
Than any other resource, you know, your hardware store, online.
Yep.
That kind of thing. And you can also get them that are like all one piece of hooks. Yep. And then another key is on the back. You'll save yourself a world of trouble if you put in holes for where you're going to hang it on your studs.
Yes.
So, you know, my cowboy's pretty good at knowing the distance between the studs and putting the holes in. So if you try this at home and you get stuck, just bring it out and he'll put a hole in it for you. He's actually had ladies go home and say, so my studs are here and here, and bring it back, and he'll take care of it.
Yeah.
So
Cowboy will take care of you.
Yeah.
And so I'm totally guilty of this. I'm like, I can make this, but I could also go to R7 and they could make it probably a lot quicker and it'd be super cute.
Yes.
So you can do either way. I mean, it's fun sometimes to make stuff, but you guys also do classes and stuff, so those are always fun to go to when you guys do your little, you know, I love going to some of the shops and stuff. But
And we have this ready to buy this weekend. They're $59 with either 4 hooks or 5 hooks.
Oh,
and this is your last weekend to shop summer with us. Saturday 10 to 2 and Sunday noon to 3. And then we're closed for most of August to get ready for fall. We'll reopen August 27th and 28th.
It's crazy to think that it's like time to get ready for fall.
You know, and it's not quite fall yet, but we take a few weeks to like reset.
Well, you like transition the whole entire barn.
Yes.
So it takes a little bit of time.
It does. It does.
The barn's huge if you haven't been there.
Yeah, 2,400 square feet.
Oh my gosh.
And every style that you can think of. And then if you can't make it out this weekend, you can message us to grab one. And we have them in different links too. I don't know if we showed the picture or not, but we have one of these that's like 6 feet long hanging in our doorway, and it makes a great stop place for the backpacks and the purses and all the things.
I love your idea for the towels and swimsuits and stuff like that to hang out by the pool or something like that.
And it's such a bonus to have a ledge because then you also have a place for those family photos or those little phrases, things you like to change out often instead of hanging on the wall. Just leaning on the ledge looks great.
So you guys have an event coming up too.
August 27th and 28th is like the most fun Friday night at the barn all year.
Yes.
Ladies' night.
Ladies' night.
So,
sorry, Chris, you can't come.
You can bring your husbands and your others if you dare, is what I always say.
Dare.
I mean, honestly, a lot of people use it as date night too.
Yeah.
And that's fine with us. But it's just really, we try to create a different vibe. And there's wine tasting and there's tables set up so you can sit down and just spend the whole evening on the farm after seeing our fall reveal. All through fall, we travel all over, right? Missouri, Chicago. And so this is kind of your chance to see all the goods set up in one place before we start breaking it up and heading on the road. So
oh my gosh.
I have been spending all summer working on it, and it's going to be more magical than ever.
Yay! I love a good ladies' night.
Yes.
I don't know if I'll bring my husband or not.
And we kind of deserve it after all summer. You need, a lot of people use this as the transition. Like, I survived summer. I'm going to celebrate this night with my friends.
Yep.
And then I'm going to do all the things.
Yep. And then it's time to like really dig into the school year and all the activities again and get ready for the...
And it's the weekend before Labor Day, so you still kind of have some time before all the family parts of Labor Day and all of that. So
this is fun. This was like doable.
Yeah, this is a
quick.
project you can do. And maybe I should put up a blog post with the directions, and then you can share it out.
Absolutely.
I think we could do that.
I want both colors, actually.
I do too. And I'm going to take an after picture with the gold. Like, I'm going to go home and put gold on there and then show it to you because I think it would be really sleek. Really sleek.
I feel like I'd be pretty honored if something that I started ended up in Tenneil's house.
Right? There you go.
I'd be like,
photos. Well, you know, I just painted my front door that color.
It is really cool.
Yeah.
We need to talk about my brown turd house and how to make it cute.
I always say I have the ugliest porch ever, and so I painted my door that color to distract from it. I have
like a brown house with brown garage doors and a brown door and a brown roof and a brown everything, and I'm like, How did this happen?
It was a thing. It was really important thing.
What do I do about this? So we're gonna have talks about
one
this.
step at a time.
Yes, we're gonna have talks about this, people, because I know there are other people out there.
I think
Maybe
that
that's
when
a
you
show.
tackle it, it should be more than that. Okay.
It should not be a brush this size.
Wouldn't it be fun to like go and look at different houses and then talk about like here's some improvements for less than $500 or less than $1,000 that you could do that would modernize the home?
Yes.
That
Let's
would
do
be
that.
fun.
That should be our next thing.
That's our
Let's
next
do it.
thing?
Yes.
All right.
Let's do it. That would be so
Before ladies' night, after ladies' night. We'll have to figure that out.
I don't know. Do you have time before ladies' night?
We'll see.
Goodness. I don't know, but this is super fun, and there's so many ideas that you can do with either of these, whether you like the sleek. I'm more of like a this
is
person.
Ashley's number right here.
This is my number.
But if we're going to get rid of the brown house, you might have to open your mind a little.
I might. This is more like Hanley's number. She would want something like this in her room, but I would want this.
I'm going to style this in my house so that you want it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. She's going to change me over. This is fun.
No, that's the next segment when you're working out.
When I'm working
changing
outside.
you over,
Okay.
Right? Impact.
Yes. It's changing my body over. It's working, though.
I can tell. You look defined.
So chiseled.
Will it work when I watch you do it? Will I leave with a chiseled jawline?
I don't think it works that way, does it, Scott? No. He's saying no.
Summer.
You have to come actually do it with me. Maybe that's also another segment.
Oh, sure.
Tenneil on the other side of the stick.
We could get pedicures too.
Yes. There are so many episodes coming. So many.
Thank you for having us. We love coming and sharing.
Go and visit R7 before the big changeover this weekend.
And we have great sales going on.
Ooh.
Yes, little season closeout sales this weekend. 10 to 2 Saturday, noon to 3 on Sunday.
Love it.
Grandview, Iowa. We haven't said that.
Yeah. I mean,
just down 61.
Yep.
Worth the drive.
It's right up the hill. That's what I always tell everybody every day. I'm like, just right up the hill.
Yes.
It's so quick.
15 minutes from your front door to the barn. I'm sure of it.
Yes,
if you're here
I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. All right. Thank you so much for showing me. I feel like I did it, so you guys can too. And with a little bit of help, I feel like I could have added the hooks too. Maybe Cowboy might have to help me do the hooks a little bit, but we can do it. Jess just said, oh my word. Whatever. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. We are going to go to some commercials. We're going to transform everything. And then I'm going to be working out with Scott. So this is exciting. Thanks again for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Go visit all of the people at the barn this weekend and get some good deals before the changeover, before the fall changeover.
Right. Maybe even see Ashley's project.
Ooh, yeah. I see my project. I'll probably be at the barn this weekend stealing some of the deals, so you better get there before
Drink mix refill.
Ooh. Their drink mixes are really good.
Yes. And it's hot. It's
very
perfect time
hot
for them.
Yep. All right. So we will be back after a couple commercials here, and I am going to show you some stick mobility.
Attention! This is an important message for all you grown-ups. Get the COVID vaccine. I miss my friends. This is the end of the message. I'm back. Not so fast. You can't return to a regular program yet. Not until you get the COVID vaccine. This for real is the end of my message. Safe care, your way. Unity Point Health. Know how much you matter to this world.
We just don't work out in a single plane of motion.
Awesome. So that was super fun. We did a little DIY with Tenneil from R7 Reclaimed. Like we said, that is just up the hill in Grandview, Iowa. They are having their last weekend at the barn before their fall switchover. So lots of great deals this summer, and you can grab those up before they take some of August here and switch over and get ready for like just turning the barn into fall, and which fall is my favorite season. So I'm serious. It's gonna be awesome. But go and visit the the barn. We switched over, as you can see. So we're done with our DIY. Next, we're going to be heading over to do some stick mobility with Scott from Impact Athletic Performance. So I started my journey with Impact a few months ago, and I have really I guess like just opened my mind and started doing a lot of new things that I had never experienced before. And I've really, stick mobility is actually one of those things that I've recently started doing at Impact. I really liked the performance classes. I really wanted to sweat it out. And so those are the ones I always wanted to go to and scheduled to be a part of. But recently I started going to some of the stick mobility classes, and I wanted to share these with you because it was kind of like that yoga for me, where I was like, oh, I'm not really gonna get a workout. I want to go, if I'm gonna take the time, I want to go and sweat, I want to work out, I want to feel it the next day. And that was kind of what stick mobility was for me. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna sweat, I'm not gonna do all these things. And so, but I did, I go and I still sweat a little by the end. I still feel really great. It's a great class for in between those performance classes. It opens up some of those muscles, all of these things. So we'll talk more about it, but Scott is here and I think he's mic'd up and ready, and we did the big switch over and all of the things. So thanks for coming today. I was just telling everybody that for me, stick mobility was one of those things that at first I was like, oh no, I have to go to the performance classes. I want to sweat and I want to get a good workout if I'm going to take the time. Mm-hmm. But now I'm like, oh, I kind of like the stick mobility. I do actually sweat a little, and I do actually do, I get a workout. And I, even from last night, I did stick mobility last night, and I'm feeling it in my muscles. And so it's different than what I expected. So I feel like it's important for us to share it with everybody.
Oh, it absolutely is. And yeah, everybody wants to feel the burn. Everybody wants the big cardio. They want to sweat, and and that's, for whatever reason, that's what makes us feel good.
Yep.
Now, I want to be able to change how we perceive mobility in that same category. Yeah. I can get you sweating just on a stick mobility routine that we do. It's the same length as our performance class. As a matter of fact, this is 55 minutes from beginning to end of joint mobilization, dynamic stretching, and basically regaining mobility. Yeah. And when I opened up Impact, we had a few sticks in-house, and so I knew a little bit of how to use them. And when the certification came around to be able to teach classes for stick mobility, it opened my eyes in ways that I never thought could happen. And the different modalities of the sticks can not only create better mobilization, better balance, but we can do strength training in here. And if we get to it, there's even some videos that I recorded last night in regards to how we can help in maybe Olympic lifting, more of the deadlifts and squats, and help our bodies understand what irradiated tension means and be able to get into a proper form. So as boundless as our workouts are with our ultimate sandbags, our kettlebells, this is boundless as well.
Yep.
So the quick detail with stick mobility, this was created, David Dunphy out in California came up with this product. And what it is that it's a proprietary material that it's not like PVC, and so this has some properties that allow it to bend and not break.
Right.
And then it also has the grip. So there's this is a 4-foot stick. There are 3-foot sticks. We have the 4-foot. I didn't bring a 5-foot. We have 6-foot and then the 7-foot sticks, and they're all geared towards your height.
Yep.
I'm 6 foot tall, so I use the 7-foot. And those under 6 foot generally find good results and good comfort in the 6-foot stick.
Yep.
So, and you know, as I mentioned when I first opened Impact, we did a little bit in our warm-ups. I mean, if you've not been to an Impact class lately, or you've been a couple years ago, we've dramatically changed how we do classes. We used to be able to, you know, we did a little bit of here and there, just skimming the surface. When I got certified, it's like, you know what, we need a class dedicated to this.
Yeah.
And we're starting to get more and more athletes that take the performance class and start working on this. You know, you talked about yoga. Sometimes we get into yoga poses that are difficult. And so what the stick allows us to do is add leverage to our workout, leverage correctly, be able to lock down whether it's the upper body or one hip so we can work on the hips. And we're going to be pretty free-flowing on this, on what we do.
Sure.
Because I think where I want to go is I want to be able to show a particular movement for you to do without the stick, and then how can we create that leverage to make your movement better.
Yep.
This is just not dedicated to mobility in terms of performance classes. Runners can utilize this. Now, I've not gotten into the full runner certification yet, but golfers, I mean, people know me. I play a lot of golf. Well, as much as I can nowadays. But we use the stick mobility in our golf performance class, whether it's if you're a rotational athlete, golf, baseball, softball.
Yep.
These sticks provide amazing feedback and amazing opportunity to be able to get better range of motion, and that's where we are.
Yep.
Creating range of motion is good.
Absolutely.
And I'll do the quick hand gesture here. If we create, if our active range of motion is here, and when we passively act and give more ability to open up this range of motion, this new range of motion is really good. But what we want to do is now strengthen our muscles, strengthen our body, strengthen our joints in that new range of motion, and that's what's critical. Range of motion for just range of motion, okay. Strength and range of motion, much better.
Yep.
So, and that's where we're going to go today. What I want to start off with, and we're going to do with this without sticks, is consider one-legged stability.
Okay.
So, our assessment, you found sometimes it was really difficult, and what I want you to do is we're going to work on the left foot, and all I want you to do is I want you to raise this right foot.
Let me move my.
Oh.
There we go. Okay.
And so your stability is really good. Now what I want you to do is that we're going to do a simple gait drill, so you can relax. So I'm going to put my stick down right here, so stay. So if I were to go here and then try to open up, it changes our center of gravity, changes how our body has to react. And so I want you to go ahead and just open the gate, and you feel incredibly unstable. A little bit of rotation into your left hip. So you're beginning to recruit muscles that don't really need to be recruited in this motion. So we're gonna, whether it's the 4-foot stick right here, we'll get into a couple other ones in our 6-foot stick. We can use 1 stick, we can use 2 sticks. Now, as we do this, you know what? I am gonna put you in, I'm gonna put you in here.
Okay.
So these are our this is the 6-foot stick. And so what we're gonna do is that I want you to go feet together.
Okay.
We're going to put this stick, and we use an analog clock system, 12, 3, 6, and 9. It helps us, well, I guess the younger athletes, they don't know what an analog clock is.
Wait a second.
What is that? Yeah. So we're going to put this stick at 12 o'clock. Now, we're going to put this one roughly 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Okay.
So we'll put it right there. Now, if somebody comes into impact and really has poor stability on one leg, we're falling all around. And now you have to think, when we walk, 80% of our time is on one leg. When we're running, 100% of that time we're on one leg. So we need good stability. And where we get stability is not only through the ground, but irradiated tension all the way up into the glutes. Everybody wants the firm buns of steel.
Buns of steel.
But hip health is appropriate as well.
Right.
All of this makeup helps us create stability. So now, if somebody has problems in their one-legged stability, they're doing all this because we don't have proper glute activation. What we would do is, I'm going to have you go into a right high knee, and we're going to flex the toe to the shin, and I'm just going to have you right here at the top of the grip. And so let's drop the foot a little bit, and then I want you to bring the stick just a little bit closer. Because what we're looking to do is connect the inside of the knee, and then I'm going to go, give me your foot, there we go, right here. So this puts us in a very stable position that if they're falling all over the place, now we can be strong. So what are we doing? We're going to set the shoulders down. We're going to set the shoulders back. So we're strong through the lats. And so that's where we want to be on the upper body. Now, this left foot, I don't know if it's on camera or not, but the left foot, we are grabbing, and the beautiful pedicure, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
We talked about that about 4 weeks ago. Me, don't look at my feet, please. We're grabbing the ground, as Jessica looks. We're grabbing the ground with our toe and our heel. Plantar fasciitis, flat feet. And I said this a long time ago, and I'm going to have you rest because I'm like, you're just
how much longer am I going to do this? Yep.
Shoes and orthotics lie to our feet.
Yeah.
If this is our arch, we're grabbing into the ground here with our toe and our heel. We're beginning to strengthen this. An orthotic comes in and it immediately gives relief, but then our arch says, well, I don't have to work anymore. I'm just going to relax. And over time, as much as that orthotic has helped, it's actually begun to hurt because it weakens this arch. So everything is built through the ground, and not only we talk about this in our performance class, but stability as well, or stick mobility as well. All right, so let's assume that position one more time. So now, a simple movement to be able to just open the gate to right there and then come back. We're solid through the upper body. We're irradiating tension because we're squeezing the ground in that left foot. It comes all the way back up into the booty. Strong right there. Now what we have as this right hip is opening up, you don't see any slide into that left hip. And so this abductor is pulling out. The adductor, the groin muscle, is slowing us down. And then as you bring it to the stick at 12 o'clock, the adductor is activated to be able to close the door. And then the abductor is our brake mechanism. So now, as unstable as somebody could be doing this or moving all the way around, now we're locked down in 3 quadrants. Now we can be able to create confidence and strength.
Well, and I feel it so much more because I'm not like,
And so now that's just general mobility. How can we create strength in this? So we did this last night, and so you can create strength by how long we do the movement. Maybe it's 3 to 5 seconds. Maybe we start going up 5 to 7 seconds and up to 10 seconds. But we also create tension through our grip. And then how hard we press.
Yep.
So in our stick mobility classes, I talk about, I want you to give 20 to 30% effort. I was like, well, what is 20 to 30% effort? Well, when we do it again and double that to go to 50 to 60% effort, you go, okay, this is feeling, now I'm asking you to give 100% effort. So we've now created mobility, but when we are strong and now we're pressing against this stick for all of its worth. And we're going to show the crowd here in a sec what that means. Now you're creating new strength. Okay, so we'll do this real quick. We're going to do 1 rep, 3 to 5 seconds. We're pushing or we're pressing down here through the lat, so we're locked in. So you're just going to press against the stick, 20 to 30% effort for 3, 2, 1. Now open the gate, and there again, now you're going to press into that stick, 3, 2, 1. And so we would do that 5 to 7 times. Now,
oops.
Now we're going to come in. I want you to double that amount of pressure coming this way. And so you're reciprocating it here, and now you're pressing in. This abductor is really working. The glute is working because we need that to be stable. And we hold this for 5 to 7 seconds. Now we go out, pressing in. Guess what? We have reciprocated energy this way. This abductor is working. This adductor is also, as far as a brake mechanism, the outside of the hip starting to work now. Now let's close. Now, like we did last night, I want 100% effort towards me. You're trying to touch my hand, not compromising our body position, but now we're developing strength. Whoa, yeah. And so now, open up. And now we're pressing hard as we can this way, and we hold this for about 10 seconds. I can make you sweat just doing this. We're starting to glisten and glow a little bit on the forehead because of that. All right, and sparkle. So now let's rest. So we can see where this stick mobility can go. This is just a simple hip internal and external motion. We can also, I'm going to have you stand right in the middle, and it's a simple opening for that. So let's go 11 and 1 with the sticks.
Okay.
We're going to go 11 here and then 1 o'clock. So who needs work on an analog clock?
Wait a second. What time is it? Okay.
All right. So now one of our other hip exercises is that we're going to have feet together. And we're going to, so let's work the other side. So we'll go right foot down, and we're going to put the knee right in the middle of the stick. All right? So there again. We've flexed the toe, pulled it towards the shin. So now our goal, we're going to keep the knee in place, and now we're going to do, yes, internal and external rotation, and come back to center, and then move the heel to the other side. Yeah. So joint mobilization. And so, yes, so now we're just moving back and forth. And what I love seeing about what you're doing right now, if I were to have you do this by yourself, and we're gonna take these sticks away, now try to do this. And now come this other way. So that's what I was looking for. And right on cue, you weren't prompted by this at all, that as you went from here to here, the hip raised. And so that's what we look for in this, and stick mobility. allowing us to lock down where we need gets us that great mobility. This is, I mean, physical therapists can use this. Strength and conditioning coaches use this.
I was going to mention one of the things, like when I was going through chemo and stuff, like one of the big things was I lost, from the chemo, I lost a bunch of